Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today it's with great pride that I am unboxing Paradigm's new Defiance subwoofer. Their V8, their little one. They do a V8, it's about 150 watts. They do a V10, obviously 10 inch, and a V12 with a slightly evolved feature set. But this price-fighting little sub adds dynamics, a little bit of rock and roll, everything you might need, maybe for a small to medium room, or a sound bar, or a good little stereo. And this thing for the money is superb. Okay, so let's have a look. Firstly, very muted packaging, brown boxes, line drawing on one end, black printing, line drawing, and then of course a scannable model and serial number. These products are very easy to open. They are factory sealed with basic clear tape. So very easy to get open quickly. The accessories on the top feature a series of power cords. This is UK. New Zealand, there we go. It's a 2-pin, so there's no F. And then that one looks like Singapore or something similar. Look, with most of these things, I mean, the polystyrene obviously hugs the product. So as far as opening it goes, one of the easiest is roll it over. Once you've got rid of the accessories, you can lift the box off. Okay. Now, I'll just pause in the bottom. We've got some basic information, right? And the polystyrene's moulded to the shape of the feet. There's an additional power cord, that one's England. Right, we've got a bilingual checklist. We've got a bit of information about how to open the product, and we've got a manual. We've got on this side in a brown box the unit's grill. Now it's packed separately for a couple of reasons. The most obvious is obviously so that it can be looked after in transit. The box is clear, it's just basically brown paper, and there is a clear bag inside with the grill. The grill itself is made of MDF, CNC out, with good solid pegs to push that into the front of the unit. The grill is acoustically transparent and it features Paradigm's logo. Going for the next level is actually really straightforward. The bag is just rolled off, revealing an inner polystyrene paper bag. Rolling it over carefully, we get to start to see the product itself. Again, moulded poly on the top, plastic bag, polystyrene bag. There's a couple of gel packs just to make sure that the product is moisture proof. Okay, so let's look at this for the first time. Obviously the front has the 4 poles, sockets I guess, for the pins for the front grille. An emulation of the badge so that this can be utilised without the grill if you choose. It's got an 8-inch long throw drive unit with a reverse annulus that is now characteristic of Paradigm. It's well inset inside the face, and there's a nice scallop ensuring that the sound will transpose nicely or just work well in the room. This little unit is very compact. That's part of its beauty. It's not difficult to actually get the most of from a positioning perspective. It can sit under things if required. Looking at it from the side, you can see that this is an almost cube. The feet, by the way, are very well thought out, so we'll roll it over. These have rubber stoppers. They can be removed and spikes added if you wish. Obviously large spikes protruding from this would give you a little bit more stability. I guess most people would probably use it stock standard like this. As a little 8-inch budget sub like this, I guess people are not really expecting too great a performance. But it's nice to know that the feet allow it to sit up off the ground, and more importantly allow the floor port to vent and breathe perfectly. It's nice and stable on these feet, by the way. There's no rocking, and it's a good grip should it be on a tiled surface or something hard. Looking at the back, we see the basic feature set that the V8 has. Firstly, it's got speaker level input. Now that's kind of unique at this price. So many are sort of losing that feature in order to just be a little bit more cost effective. Well, they've recessed some speakers. Obviously you're going to have to use banana plugs to get in there, but it means that should you be drop tapping out of an amplifier's A or B speakers, you can easily use the crossover network on board to add a little bit of that roll in of the bass you require. Beside the left and right inputs, we've got a basic volume control, and that's as it is, it's a level control, minimum to maximum. Beneath it is the low pass filter. Now a subwoofer is always going to try and do the lowest frequency it can, and this model it's sort of in the high 20s as far as its frequency response. When you set this all the way up to bypass, obviously it's expecting to be fed a filtered signal or a managed signal from an AV receiver. Alternatively, of course, you can just let it do its thing from speaker level or line in. Beneath it you've got a phase switch from 0 to 180. That helps with placement, as this can't necessarily go in a perfect location. The phase switch enables you to overcome some of the issues. Beneath it we've got a status light, which is a tricolour LED, letting you know if it's in standby, going, or I think it blinks if there's an error as well. Beneath it is the power mode. Now this is auto or on. Now on means that this will remain on all the time, and auto, it'll go into standby if left alone for a reasonable period of time. Beneath the power mode we've got the traditional line inputs. One of them is clearly marked LFE in, so if you're using a mono out from a home theatre amplifier you would use the red socket. Alternatively, if it's coming out of a stereo preamp, you'd use both. The back panel is the heatsink for the amplification, and there's a little bit of information and warning about electrical, all of those compliance, and then of course you've got a traditional IEC power socket. It's worth mentioning that they've got a switch mode power supply, or Class D, so it has multi-voltage as far as its input, and it'll handle between 100 and 240 volts, both 50 and 60 Hertz. Okay, so there we have it. Paradigm's Defiance V8, this beautiful subwoofer. I mean, it is amazing for its price, and it hits such a wonderful price quality that I'm very, very happy to have shared this with you today, here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Right, as before, a beer review. Panhead. Microbrewery here in New Zealand. Their APA, their supercharger, is by far their most famous, I guess. You can buy it in your supermarkets. You know how good it is when you can do that. It's lovely. In a can, of course. Look, normally I guess I'd pour it into a glass, but hey, it's warm. It's hot work. Stunning. It's a bigger beer. It's got a higher percentage alcohol, so careful. But it's lovely. It is beautiful, and it's again one of my favourites. Nice to be able to share a little bit of a promotion there for Panhead APA, their supercharger. Lovely. Certainly one of my top 5, if not one of my top 3 beers. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.